Welcome once again to The Sage. And as usual, it's always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for always tuning in to listen to us. Thank you for sharing our story, sharing our journey, and sharing the life we live in C4C. Over the past few weeks, we began a mega series of great importance. After a great deal of thought and brainstorming, we titled it Living Out Our Hope for a Compassionate Nigeria. We felt that actually the real answer to Nigeria's problem is compassion, insufficient compassion amongst our people. If we all learned to be kinder to our next door neighbor, to the person we meet on the street, to the person we work with, to members of our own family, if we learn simple acts of encouragement and kindness, it translates into a people that are better able to live this life and to be happy and contented. We will, in doing that, also help to support ourselves and our neighbors financially and otherwise. And in line with that concept, we've run a series of sub-themes, subtopics. There was a program we did on everyday kindness, as our effort to show you don't have to be a mega millionaire or rich or to be kind, to be generous, even with the little you have, to share your widow's mite. We went on to discuss examples of everyday people doing things in the healthcare sector, for instance, to help. We went on to discuss small and medium-scale enterprises as a mechanism, a crucial mechanism for improving the economy of our country, for helping families and individuals to be economically independent, to be truly empowered. Because we believe that economic empowerment is one of the strongest mechanisms of real empowerment. It is something we in C4C believe with passion. And it is in line with that, despite the fact that we don't have much at all in terms of resources. We embarked on an ambitious program 7 years ago to support, train, and equip young entrepreneurs because we believe they are so critical to the economy of our country. These young entrepreneurs, when provided business management knowledge and skills, self-empowerment, self-motivation, when we turn them into a network, when we teach them social responsibility, that they become strong, irresistible forces that move the economy positively for themselves, their families, and indeed our country. The economy of our country depends on medium and small scale enterprises. They provide jobs, they provide the food, oh yes. And there's double dividend in the fact that because of the virtue of their being young, the benefits they bring to our country will last much longer because they have naturally a longer lifespan. And so join us again. Joyfully we welcome you to the continuation of our series on medium and small scale enterprises. We've used this opportunity to showcase many wonderful young entrepreneurs from various parts of the country, but particularly from the C4C program, because within that program we have witnessed remarkable successes. This week in particular, it is with joy and indeed humility that we bring a remarkable young man on set. A young man who I personally, despite my extensive travels across the world, felt privileged to have encountered. You will know why as we discuss. But before we discuss, let me introduce him to you. So please join me as I welcome Kingsley Joshua Omagbo.
Thank you very much, Mommy.
To the set.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this privilege to have me on the stage again. Thank you so much. Why I call you Mommy is you build a great foundation. You build a character in me. You've built a person with this high sense of engagement when it comes to building of mind and also creating impact in the sphere of business, in the world of business. You have actually done a lot. So it's only a mother who had the love of a child in her that she will impact such character into that child. So it's a privilege having you, Mommy. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kingsley. I'm sure my audience already understand why I consider it sheer pleasure each time I interact with Kingsley. Let us start our story from the beginning. That is the right place. And therefore, let me start this story and this discussion from the beginning, from our first encounter with Kingsley. Let me tell the story of how C4C met Kingsley. We had advertised for fellows, potential fellows as usual. He had done his online application. My team of reviewers reviewed. Indeed, he was shortlisted and therefore invited for interview. On the day of interview, I will never forget the experience, the memory of it. When he came to his turn, my team came to me while the interview and said, there's somebody who, is there who has a physical challenge. I said, really? Okay, perhaps we should try and move him earlier into the, long line of interview. And when it was his turn, you wouldn't believe it. He was on the floor, but with his hands deftly moving himself. He moved with confidence up to us at the interview spot, sat on the chair, ready for interview, ready for discussion. And when he opened his mouth, I wondered whether we had sort of gotten confused and had borrowed a broadcaster from Radio Nigeria or something to come and pretend to be one of the candidates. He was so eloquent. He was so eloquent, and he still is eloquent. He was confident. He carried his head high. He was sure he knew what he wanted to do and was not apologetic to anyone if he needed to move around using his hands on the floor. We were all so awed. We were all so full of admiration. And Kingsley has lived up to every expectation. He, of course, made it, became a fellow, part of the 2023 set, and has lived up to every expectation and indeed graduated. And so, Kingsley, let's my audience share and understand did it all come from? How did you get to where you are? How have you faced your life's challenges? Tell us really the right terminology. I hesitate when I say challenged, physically challenged. I'm not sure that is the correct term. There was a time you used to be handicapped. Then we were told that no, you don't say handicapped. They're challenged. But I hear that even that challenge is now old-fashioned.
Yeah.
So tell us about the terminology, and tell us, flow at your own. Tell us about how did you get to be where you are, where you found yourself ready to pitch and claim a place with an organization that's like C4C because you wanted to be a passionate entrepreneur.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mommy. The right terminology to use now, it's differently abled. Because when you said
differently
abled, yeah, because you are human, you're mentally stable, you're very okay, just that some parts of you, it's not really working as others. So you are just differently, but the ability to do all things is there. And you can say, well, particularly me, I'm a wheelchair personality. I use wheelchair to aid movement and any other motorized machines to aid movement. And really, life has been beautiful because they said whatever God created, He made them beautiful. So life has been beautiful because God is involved. The Creator is involved. So I grew up as a young child in a very middle class family whom our parents loved so much and had just nothing to actually build a better foundation for. But as time keeps going, I discovered that formal education is not just everything I need. I discovered there's one thing that really pushed as I journeyed to become a skilled person. Going to school, I discovered that all my peers wear sandals to school. But because my father cannot get a very fitting shoes to my legs,
because the leg
because the legs
was
had,
not normal.
it was not a kind of a normal legs. They're a bit paralyzed and the shapes are being curved. So the normal shoes cannot really fit into the legs. But I love to be complete. I love to look like my other peers. So I was thinking, how do I do it? Did I go into making this footwear myself? I just started without going to any instructor, vocational instructor. I just started making something for myself. I went to the market, tried to get things. I started with cartons. Yes, I remember. I started with cartons. I put gums on cartons and I began to make shoes that fit into my legs. I said, that means shoes can be made for me. That's how the passion kept growing and I began to make shoes. It got to a point that I feel, no, I shouldn't just be doing this for myself alone.
But were you able to wear the cartons?
Yes, I wore them, but they are not durable because they are cartons. Mm-hmm. And I began to seek attention for persons who understood how shoes are made. I started visiting the shoemakers' workshops and gradually I picked up. I began to use the shoes materials.
About how old were you at this time?
I was actually around 7, 8.
Really?
Yes, I was about 7, 8 when I started that. So continually, I keep making shoes for myself. Keep making good shoes for myself. To a point everyone in school admire it, in church they admire. Now you wear good shoes, you no longer walk barefooted.
By this time you'd graduated to the leather, huh?
Yes, I've graduated to the leather, yes. Yeah. No longer using cartons, yes. Okay. No longer using cartons. So I began to use leathers and norras to produce my own footwears. Every teacher was happy. Now I wear footwear. I no longer crawl with barefoot to the class anymore. And what really gets my attention the most to continue, it's then when I crawl with barefoot, I discover my feet are hardened. The skins are becoming so hardened. But when I started using shoes, I discover automatically it's lightening and the skin is becoming normal.
Yeah, because you're not scuffing it too so much.
To the ground. So continually, I keep building it. Until I get to the SS1, where I wrote junior WAEC, the stay-at-home period to get admission into SS1, I found someone who is good at shoes. So I went to him and I registered with him, and he took me for free. God will ever bless him. Yeah, he took me for free and I started learning. I began to make very good shoes. At that point, I began to make shoes and sell them. My parents then discovered this can be a very good business to venture in, and they encouraged me. And I began to learn and learn and learn until now that I produce shoes for people who are high class in the government, who are really business tycoon, who are really fashion designers, who are really models. I produce footwears for them, and today footwear has really, it's in fact, it's everything. It's everything. God has used it to build a very good capacity in me living independently. Thank you.
What a remarkable story. I'm awed, you know, even more than I knew, even when you were one of our fellows, and you know, and so on. Because the fact that at 7, you were already into, you know, thinking, I can do something. I can do something to improve my lot. I don't care if people laugh at me in school, perhaps, because children can be unkind.
Yeah.
You were still, it didn't crush you. What it did was to drive you to experimenting, even if it had to be with a cat. It's a remarkable story. It's a remarkable and beautiful story that demonstrates very clearly that we should never allow fate to become our master. We must remain the master of our own fate, our own destiny. And no matter how tough the scenario we've been handed at birth and after, you can change it.
Sure.
It all depends on you. It's a beautiful story, and we congratulate you for that.
Thank you very much.
And you know, I jokingly asked, you know, you graduated from cartons. Yes, you graduated, you drifted naturally to where you found tutorship. You graduated to cartons. But the amazing thing about it, which shows a natural entrepreneur, is the fact that you began to sell.
Yes.
Even at a young age, even in the school, you were selling and getting some money to support yourself and take some of the burden away from your family. Somebody who almost from birth, if I may say so, was born with a determined entrepreneurial spirit, so that as a child you had embarked on it and continued. But it's a lovely story. But break it down for us, because life is never all rosy, particularly life for somebody like you who had to grapple with physical issues as well. So can you share a little? Did you have some ups? Did you have some downs? How was it on that journey?
Yes, mommy, it's quite numerous, I would say, but I'll do justice by touching those aspects that they are unforgettable to me. Growing up as a differently abled child, I really did not find it easy because the stigma already is there. People telling you, you can work, you can do this, you can do that. Sometimes it demoralizes me, and I just feel, I go back. But I keep encouraging myself again. I have to come up again. I have to do it again. Coming to schooling have not been really easy at all, because structures are not really built accessible for persons, differently abled persons. The access to classrooms and even the arrangement of chairs are not really accessible. Sometimes you want to get into the class, and you just remember you have to climb a kind of a very tough stairs before you get into your class, and the roads networked to the school and all of that were quite challenging, and I just had to push on with all the accessibility. What's a very big challenge? Accessibility. As a child, you have less strength and you have to just push and push and push. coming to the part of where I begin to feel it's the right time, I begin to make good shoes and assessing the market. It's another very challenging moment because people are taller than you. Like people are taller than I, and there will be person that won't even discover there's somebody beneath, and
They
you
don't
could
even look down to
yes,
see.
they won't look down, and you could even be matched. And severally, I've been matched by several persons,
Wow.
and all of that. And access to the market, getting before you be attended to. There are numerous people you're trying to say a word, but people won't listen because there are lots of people, and you have to pave your way until the person sees you and he gives you attention. So there's this much challenging that one face, and again, and becoming a business person, that's the very big one. And you would want to raise capital at some point, and begging has never been a lifestyle to me at all. Like, I have never given opportunity for limitations to a point that I will have to beg to do something. It has never come in mind, and it has never happened. Sometimes people even feel, okay, let's just give him something, and I'll be like, no, you are trying
That's
to.
not why,
yes,
that's not why I'm here, because they look and see you
yes.
and assume that you've come to beg.
Yes, you see people limiting your ability because of the physical looks of you, limiting that ability. It was a very great challenge I faced with people. Sometimes they say, we give him, he's not accepting. What kind of person are you? They say all sorts of words, and sometimes it hurts. These are the challenges I faced, getting to the point where I began to use machines for footwear productions and all of that. Most of these footwear productions are not built accessible for us. Like, I find it difficult when I began, because yet sometimes for you to like use a filing machine when I don't have mine, I had to, or started climbing a stool that's very high. I have to struggle, climb the stool before I can file. And sometimes gum application has gum, like our hands are like, I used to wheeling every day on tricycle. So the stability is there. Before you get flexibility, I had to train myself for my hands to be flexible, to apply gum properly, and all of this, like the sewing machine. The sewing machine was the one very big challenge that I face when it comes to the skill, the business of shoes. Like, the legs are not strong enough to pedal the sewing machine, the manual sewing machines. And raising capital to get the industrial was quite very expensive, which many people around me can't even afford to buy for me. No, I even save at that moment to buy for myself because I was still operating very small. I was still even learning. So using the manual sewing machine, the legs are not strong enough to pedal. I have to look for a hand winding, and you wind with your hands, and you get tired. And remember, you're winding with your hands, and you go and wind your tricycle as well. So that's a very big job for the hands to do. So these are the challenges. But as time keep building up, I keep building. I will never stop. I must strive. I will never stop. I know one day I will get there. In fact, this is where I have to even speak little about before we get to. In fact, when I was given the industrial sewing machine by C4C.
Hold it there. Don't reveal the secrets that are to come. Don't reveal the secrets that are to come.
All right.
But it's good you mentioned it.
Yes.
To our viewers, we will stop him, because next episode, Kingsley is going to talk about his life, his journey, and what going through the 1-year program for him in C4C did. You cannot afford to miss it, so I will not let him open the bag yet.
All right.
But say that I had thought I knew him, I had thought I had watched him grapple with his challenges. I had talked about his confidence, his indomitable spirit. But listening again to the things he said, I am overwhelmed. That's all I can say. Because there's so many periods in this story you had told where any average person may have given up. From the challenges, the physical challenges, which navigating the school atmosphere, whether it's the buildings that are of course not friendly for people who are differently abled, as you put it, or whether it's even transportation to get to the school, or whether it's going through the buildings or getting into your desk. Everything for you every day is a challenge. And then now you've begun the graphic description of even manipulating the machines that you need to manipulate to produce. There are challenges which the able-bodied person will not even begin to think about. And so once again, we congratulate you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
And we're very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
And we're lucky to be able to share a spirit such as yours with our audience, with our viewers.
Thank you.
Kingsley demonstrates the fact that no obstacle is too difficult to surmount. If you're determined, you will go on and on and on. As long as you are breathing and living, obstacles will be there. But when you also you are differently put together by the good Lord, greater obstacles are there. But sometimes it needs great spirits like yours to deal with them. And so we will continue this amazing interview next week. Kingsley will be with us to talk more, to talk about his interactions with C4C, and to talk about his amazing successes since his graduation from our program. You cannot afford to miss any of it. It is enthralling. Make sure you tune in next time. Kingsley, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
See you next week.